Welcome, parents and guardians. So, you're starting to explore special education for your child, and let's be honest, it can feel pretty overwhelming, right? We put this explainer together to give you a clear, step by step guide to the whole process so you can feel confident and prepared. Let's kick things off with what is probably the single most important idea. And this quote just says it perfectly. This entire process, from start to finish, is built on one thing: partnership. Your involvement, your insights, they're absolutely the most powerful tools for your child's success. Think about it. You know your child better than anyone on this planet. And that's exactly why you are, by law and just by common sense, at the very center of the team. Your observations about what works at home, what lights your child up, and where they struggle, those are crucial pieces of the puzzle that nobody else can provide. Okay, so here's the game plan for this explainer. We're going to start with how the process even begins, then we'll break down the evaluation and clarify the different types of support plans you might hear about. After that, we'll get into your role in building them, and finally, we'll talk about your rights and the resources out there to help you.
All right, let's jump right in. Where does this whole journey actually start? Well, that first step is all about referral and identification.
Well, for many, it begins with something called child find. It sounds a little strange, but it's a federal mandate. It's basically the school district's job, their legal duty, to proactively identify and evaluate all kids who might have disabilities and need a little extra support. So, a referral, which is the official request for an evaluation, can happen in two ways. A teacher might notice your child is struggling and make a referral. But here's the key thing for you to know. You, as a parent, can also request an evaluation at any time. And a big tip? Put that request in writing. Seriously, because that written request officially starts a legal clock.
Okay, so the referral is in. What's next? That brings us to the evaluation. This is where the team really starts gathering all the information needed to make thoughtful decisions together.
So what's the point of the evaluation? Really, it's about two things. First, finding out if your child is eligible for services, and second, really digging in to understand their unique needs. And this is not just one test. It's a whole look at your child using different tools, and this is so important, it absolutely has to include information from you.
Now, this is where things get really specific, which is great because it sets clear expectations. That 60-day clock I mentioned, it starts ticking the second the school gets your signed, written permission form. Within those 60 days, all the assessments have to be done, and then the whole team gets together to talk about the results and decide on eligibility. Okay, let's say the evaluation is done, and the team agrees that your child is eligible for support. What happens then? Well, a formal plan is created, and you'll usually hear about two main types: an individualized education program, or IEP, and a 504 plan. First up, the IEP. Think of this as the main playbook for special education. It's a legally binding document that comes from a big federal law called the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, or IDEA. For a student to get an IEP, they have to have one of 13 specific disabilities and need specially designed instruction to make progress in school. Then you have the 504 plan, which is a little different. This one actually comes from a federal civil rights law. Because of that, it has a much broader definition of disability. The whole goal of a 504 is about access, making sure there are no barriers preventing a student from learning in the general education classroom. And this right here, this is probably the best way to understand the difference. An IEP can change what a child is taught. Think specialized reading instruction or a modified curriculum. A 504 plan, on the other hand, changes how a child accesses their learning. Think things like extra time on a test or sitting closer to the teacher. This brings us to a really crucial point. An IEP isn't something the school creates for your child and then hands to you. No way. It's a document that is created with you as an equal and essential member of the team. So who's on this team? The law is super clear about this. And just look at who's listed first. You are. That is not an accident. A great tip is to just jot down a few notes before the meeting. Your child's biggest strengths, your main concerns, and maybe one or two goals you have for them. It helps you share your thoughts with confidence. Yeah, this meeting, it really is where the magic happens. It's where everyone brings their own expertise to the table. You bring your expertise on your child, the educators bring their expertise on teaching, and together you design a program that truly fits your child's needs. So, what's actually in this IEP document? Well, it's pretty detailed. It always starts with describing where your child is right now, their current skills. From there, the team works together to write measurable annual goals. And that word measurable is so important. It means we're not just hoping for progress. We have a clear target and a way to track how your child is doing.
Okay, so understanding the process is a huge first step. But knowing your rights and what resources are out there for you, that's what really empowers you to be an amazing partner for your child.
You'll probably hear this official sounding term, procedural safeguards. It sounds kind of legalish, but all it really means is your rights as a parent. And these aren't just suggestions, they're tools guaranteed by federal law to make sure your voice is always part of the conversation. And maybe the most important takeaway from this whole thing is this: you are not alone on this journey, not even close. Because of federal law, every single state has at least one Parent Training and Information Center, or PTI, created specifically to support families just like yours. And these centers, they are an absolute game changer. They offer free training and one-on-one help, often from other parents who've been there and who totally get it. They can help you make sense of all the jargon and walk into those school meetings feeling way more confident. We really hope this explainer has helped demystify the process for you. The big idea to hold on to is that this is a partnership, and you are the most valuable player on the team. So, for your next step, go ahead and do a quick online search for your state's Parent Training and Information Center. They are there to help you every step of the way.